Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and today is Friday. Man, this week is going fast. It is June 16th. The 16th, I made a mistake and put down the 15th in the description, but it is the 16th. Wow. And it's just after 4 o'clock, like 4:10 in the morning. How you all doing? Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are doing well. Yeah, my voice is still kind of soft. I was dreaming. I had a very bizarre dream, and then I woke up because my alarm went off, and then I closed my eyes quickly to try to see, if I could get a vision, my morning vision. Yeah, upon awakening from sleeping or dreaming, and if I keep my eyes closed but stay conscious, I usually see something. And yes, I saw something today. Um, but I want to preface that I did fall asleep with, I was listening to, um, his name is Steve Greer. He's a former emergency room doctor, but he got involved with the UFO phenomenon, and he recently did like what do you call it? Like what do you call it? A conference? Had a press release. He had people, witnesses to certain events, UFO events. They were military people, his guests, and the things that they saw, and they looked very scared. They spoke very nervous, and they were relaying their experiences when they were in the military. Some of the stories did not sound good at all. Human exploitation. Yes, good morning, good morning. Good morning, viewer. Good morning. Say hello in the chat room if you like. Yeah, thank you for coming on with me early in this morning. Yeah, I'm still a little tired because I'm just waking up, but I just wanted to get down these my vision and a little bit about the dream. Oh, excuse me. It didn't sit right with me, the dream. Yeah, we're going to talk about briefly about the dream. I was doing things that just seemed to make kind of unsavory. Um, I think at first I was in my the home that I was brought up in, and then it changed. Like a lot of times, rooms like it could look like one room, and then it's looked like something else. But the last thing in the dream, I mean, I was with some people. There was some activity that was going to be done, and I mean, I was running from one room to another. I think it involved, I don't know, some ritual. I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. I remember running, and I was to participate in something. And I just remember running different places. And I realized at one point, I said, hey, they want me to be a part of this thing that's going to start, and they want me to get prepared for it. And they gave me something to eat. I remember one. It looked like a little longer than a grain of rice. It was a tube, a white tube, and it had a pinhole in it, and this powder inside. And I was thinking like it was might have been like candy or something like that. There were two pieces, that one and some other piece. And I remember I put it in my mouth. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm very wary of dreams when they want me to eat something. I don't trust it. I remember there's some man, adult man, Caucasian fellow. Um, he wanted me to part, something. I just remember I ran in the room or something. I thought, oh my goodness, I don't have anything on, below, from the waist down. I felt very self-conscious. Um, and I think some official was there. But I woke up. Because my alarm went on, the alarm off, went back, closed my eyes to see if I could get a vision, do that my meditation thing. And yeah, this is what I saw. Um, I felt as if I'm looking upward at the ceiling from my standpoint, that I'm looking upward. And I feel like I'm lying down. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. Excuse me. Yeah, it looked like, it reminded me of seaweed all over. These little things that were all throughout you know, my vision. Little strips of something. They were dark, ragged, jagged looking. But the best word is like, remind me of seaweed being all over. And I've seen these before. I've seen these things. And then I notice above a little light that turned on, a little piece of light shone on this, what looks like the ceiling. Uh, Jagged light. It wasn't like a perfect circle, little thing, but it was a hint of light, an energy. And then it opened. It opened into a circular, a hole in the ceiling. And it was like um, a faint light, like an opening. Well, I should say it was a light, but it opened, and it was a circle, circular shape. And then, but it was faint. The whole scene was faint, but I'm trying to look like in the natural. I'm like trying to look like I'm looking upward with my eyes closed to see this. Oh, sorry. Yawning there, sorry. And then I saw a lot of movement. And I felt like they remind me of insects, like a lot of legs. And it came to the center where I would have been in this thing. I just saw movement, movement. I'm really trying to see detail. I was trying to say to myself mentally, come on, you have this opportunity. Try to see what basically like I felt like the thing must have seen me. Something again. It's faint, but you could clearly see shapes and movement. Um, I believe that these beings, they look like there was like a swimming. Uh, I felt there was a buoyancy, like water, like it's water below. I mean, that I'm surrounded in a matrix of water. That's what I felt like it, because you see that seaweed looking thing, and then the ceiling open, round circle. Um, the whole, it seemed like a some distance, me or my consciousness, to the ceiling. So how big the hole actually was, but it seemed like the size of a manhole, maybe. Perfect round. So now I had a vision like this before, recently, and but when the ceiling opened up, it was still a very bright light. It seemed like a light coming downward. I mean, it wasn't just a hole. It looked like an energy light, and it started off as a small light, and then something. I felt like it was a strong light, very strong, like open. It grew. A cylinder, and I felt it was an energy. It wasn't like a beam of energy, but it was a light source from above me, and I feel it was the same place that I've seen before. Same place. And I think these are creatures, and they were hovering over me, and I see like faint things moving. It was like getting excited. They were getting excited, it seemed, just like before when I felt like I had this. Um, but the beings, I couldn't see clear detail, but it reminded me like a hive mind, a very hive mind. Um, and they were, I mean, it still seems like I'm looking at a screen, not like a monitor, not like I'm actually there. It didn't have that 3D look. Like sometimes when I see things, it's very ultra three-dimensional. You feel like you're in it. While this one, it's more like I'm observing, like I'm looking at a screen, but you still see them, whatever what it is, trying to attack you, like this, like you feel that they're like these expenditures are getting excited and really trying to attack where I'm supposed to be. It's very, very bizarre. Very bizarre. Don't understand it. The birds are chirping now. The birds are chirping. It's beautiful to hear the sound. I'm not sure what to make out of. I mean, um, people, I believe this place exists. Where it is it an underground place? Oh, excuse me. I mean, it's an underwater facility. It's some type of facility. I felt like it was um, a place that's harvesting. I really, this is just my impression. I might be wrong what my impression is, but I feel it's a holding place, a place that's harvesting something or it's growing something. It seemed quiet. And when I get my awareness slash vision through my meditation, like an alarm comes on, so to speak. So they're alarmed about something. It's there. What is this facility? This place? Yeah, the ceilings were light. It seemed like a light color. Um, seemed encapsulated by something. It's like underneath a dome. I believe it's dome shaped. And why it started out like the little pinhole. Yeah, this happened before. Like a little light at this above me, an energy light, and then it's an opening, like a portal or something, a window, round window opening. Yeah, the first time it happened, the being looked like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, but today's thing, it was very, no, less detail. But before, I think I had this last week. Imagine a narrow shaped head, face. But it's a weird shape. There's a name for that shape in geometry, but I don't remember the name. But imagine a rectangle, okay? But let's say the rectangle is standing vertical upward, so the length is pointing vertically. But the top two corners is narrower than the width from the base of the rectangle. That's what that was the shape. So it's a long shape, what would be the head or the top part, what you could see. It was narrower on top, the width, and broad on the bottom. And it had these expenditures, and it had a male energy. Today's vision, very male energy. The creatures seem very male. And the dream that I had, I was at going to participate in something very shady, something illicit that I was to participate in. And I felt awkward and I felt exposed. I was physically exposed. Didn't have anything on, but I felt self-conscious. I remember running, and the thing that they wanted me to eat. Wow, don't eat anything when you have it's sleeping. Don't, because could be like like a program that like things want access to you when you're sometimes things, dimensions or beings, but they want you to partake, in ingest something. And this, in my opinion, they want you to eat this, whatever what it is. They might disguise it to look like a candy, your favorite candy, your food, cake, desserts, and it's presented in front of you, and they want you to eat it. And I said, don't eat it because, oh, excuse me, it could be a trap. So I was surprised that I ate this something, and it had like a powder inside. That's all I really remember. And then I was running, feeling self-conscious. Oh, I know it sounds bizarre. It does sound bizarre, but um, I talked to this individual about some of my visions or experience, dreams, experiences. Sometimes it's good to share with others, that are trustworthy with your information. But what's going, what type of dreams you have, because they may be experiencing the same thing. So sometimes it's good to find out what's happening with other people, you know. And they shared with me, that people are experiencing things now. They feel that they are experiencing phenomena. And I remember replying to them, why now? Why now are we experiencing these things? And it seems like the past 2 weeks, I would say, about the past 2 weeks, this UFO phenomenon or discussion is happening. Yeah. Some people online, yeah, it turns out, Billy Carson, the researcher, he about 7 days ago interviewed Steve Greer, the former emergency room doctor who got involved with the UFO phenomena / alien phenomenon. And this Steve Greer did a, um, I keep saying the word conference, but when you have um, you have people like reporters, people who are in the news. You invite them, and they listen to your panel, your guest speakers. It's part of the disclosure. And this just happened, and I watched it last night. This meeting over YouTube. You just type in Steve Greer, and you'll see that he recently did a talk. And the guests that he had on were former military, and they all seemed very frightened to give their testimony. People are being forced to sign disclosures, non-disclosure things. And they felt that, yeah, they were forced to do so. Some of them were threatened that, hey, should we, eliminate them? They were frightened because they were seeing things that they weren't authorized. They weren't authorized to see it. They weren't trying to see it. They were doing their job. Hear that? They were doing their job while in the military. And one of them was even invited to a facility. These two people of someone's family were invited. You have people in the military. You have what we call secret operations, secret ops, off limits. And if you accidentally bump into their secret operations, you could be taken. They were saying that people were being kidnapped. First, they mentioned that sometimes they could be a part of illicit, like growing things that they're not supposed to grow. They said that happens a lot. And then this time, this disclosure that they were witness to, they realized that they weren't just harvesting things, but they were also taking people. Now, how they got that? I mean, they felt uncomfortable saying it, but that's in essence what they're saying. Not just harvesting plants, but their involvement, and it's like a secret. There are these operations, government operations, secret operations, activities that are happening right before us. They mention about, um, I think at the South Pole, they saw some facility, some type of generator that is super powerful, and it causes earthquakes. Did you hear that? Earthquakes. This is something else. Yeah, I I'm suspicious. I too am very suspicious about certain earthquakes that occur, especially when it happens to Haiti, the island of Hispaniola, but on the Haitian half of that island in the Caribbean. Why? Why little Haiti? Why this country? It's a very, very densely populated country. And don't you ever wonder, every time when it seems like the country is trying to get on its feet, they get zapped by an earthquake? It just, no, and it's not like the other half of the island, like the whole island, but just that half. Just that half. And if you see the history of the island, um, for those of you who don't know about the island of Haiti, it shares the same island with the Dominican Republic. Haiti gets the west half of the island is a smaller piece, like one quarter size of the island, and then the Dominican Republic gets the latter three quarters. And it was the island, the half of the Haitian side was under French colonial rule, while the other half was under Spanish rule. Now that island was the first deportation of captives from Africa. Oh yes, around 1504. But I think they put them in the Dominican, what we now call the Dominican Republic, that portion. And it grew. 1504, about 1504, I think one of the earlier um, documents of the deportation of people from various African countries being forcibly removed from Africa and brought to the Caribbean, forced labor slash enslavement for generations. But in the late 1700s, uh, slavery was at its peak, at its at its extreme peak, and I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember how it started. I mean, who sparked everything. But I remember there was a Toussaint. He was became a general Haitian, a black man. I think he was actually half and half, a white father and an African mother. I think that's his lineage actually. That's what I heard in one thing I heard. And he led the people of the the blacks of Haiti to war against the French, and it was very successful. But they tricked Toussaint Louverture. They said, "Hey," the French said. The French are very the colonials of those days were very sneaky. They used his ego to get at him. Hey, you become a French citizen, you work with us, and we'll give you citizenship. So they use an ego because the French of that time, the 1700s, they were the cream of Europe. They were the um, cultural and artistic leaders of Europe. They were the intellectual head of Europe. I mean, that country of its day was filled with a lot of opulence, and they were became very wealthy of their exploitation of the uh, enslavement of African people, of taking the resources of the Native American Indian. They were extremely wealthy. Well, this Toussaint Louverture did a coup, and they appealed to his ego. Hey, you allow this. Hey, you get citizenship, and he fell for it. They captured him and shipped him out to, I think, France, mainland France, where he died in prison. Could you believe that? And then someone else took over. Another black man took over. So the people initially got enslaved, and then again another they fought again, and this time they won. But what happened after that? If I remember right, or if I get this accurate, what's equivalent to an embargo, the U.S. got involved. Again, the U.S. was under the slave system at this time, both North and South. Yeah, the North Coast was under slavery. They try to hide that history, but you had the 13 colonies along the east coast of what we call the United States of America, the whole east coast, the 13 colonies, they're all under slavery, even New York City, where I live. But New York ended their uh, slave system about 20 something years before, and they did it in stages. So one by one, the country, the United States was slowly releasing, ending the slave system. But the South was a agriculturally based system, while the North was more about manufacturing. It was about manufacturing. So it didn't depend on human labor, exploitation of human labor, like the South. It I guess that system industrialized, industry and mass production uh, could utilize a different workforce. But I mean, that's what happened. It wasn't dependent on it for labor. You had, in the North is a lot of people. I think the North might have always had more population than the South, but I'm not definitive about that. But either way, it didn't depend on, to the same degree, the slave labor. So um, the U.S. at that time uh, tried to rescue some of the Europeans that were on the island. It came to the rescue of the oppressor against the Haitian people. And even at one time, the freed, enslaved people of Haiti occupied then the whole island to liberate get this, they went to liberate the entire island known as Hispaniola. Hispaniola. This is, I think, the oldest colonial region in the Americas, the oldest colonized. And here you have freed Africans fighting for freedom. And the U.S. and I think Spain, in fact, they attacked the island. And so briefly, the Haitians were trying to liberate their Dominican half. They were trying to free the people, the blacks there. But this embargo, they wanted to get, the Haitians wanted to get in the trade. It was extremely wealthy. They were manufacturing stuff. Haiti was one of the wealthiest exploited regions in the Americas under the slave system. And they wanted to get a piece of the pie and manufacture. They did a lot of because sugar cane. Yeah. They also did mining also. It's a very mineral-rich island, very mountainous. But yeah, the Dominican half, the Spanish half has the mines, the minerals and everything. So with an embargo, think of an embargo as you can't do any trade. You can't buy or sell. Hear that? You cannot buy or sell. What's left there is all what you have. That's it. So you cannot bring in material or you can't bring in anything or export anything from that island. And so it's entrapped. You live in your house or your apartment, and then you can't. They tell you cannot go outside to buy or sell. You're going to use all your resources, and that's what happened. And that's why Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. That is why. It's not because of their race, like they're trying to blame the person rather than what's going on behind the scenes. It's an embargo, and it's still a type of embargo on Haiti, just like Cuba has an embargo. Now, Cuba has a more, modern Cuba has a very strong embargo still. Yeah, the people there they cannot you cannot buy land from Cuba. Yeah, there are laws in the United States that ban anyone from buying land, and I'm sure other stuff there, because see, the U.S. is has harbored the exiles. You have Cuban exiles. About 62 years ago, this exile from Cuba, and they came to the United States because of the communism. I am anti-communist. I just letting you know that I'm anti-communist. I do not want to be under that system. But I am compassionate that the history of those people, these were people who endured extreme oppression. And yes, they were, another system replaced it. But the people, basically, what happened, the people of Cuba, so you have, it's no different than like Florida, the state of Florida. Florida is a southern state, but people don't see it as such. It's a southern state, and it has its southern history, and it was heavily, heavily into slavery. But people just see like Miami as a tourist place, a fancy tourist place. Now this thing, Florida was heavily involved in, it's hot. Florida is hot. They grow sugar cane down there. It was a slave system. And the company that has a lot of powers, political power in Florida, are the sugar growers of Florida. Yes, there is sugar grown, sugar cane grown in Florida. Oh, yes. It's the same system like in the Carolinas, but you don't see it as such because you have, what do you call it? You have, it's like a retirement mecca. Like people from the Northeast, when they retire, they move to Florida. So people nowadays just think of Florida as a retirement spot of Northerners, that it's like a northern city. No, it is just as southern as any other place like Georgia, Carolinas, Mississippi. It's all the same, but you have a lot of that type of people that is has a dominant force there on that island, and they have a very strong political pull. And there was some news recent, a couple of years ago. Um, they are, Florida has ties to Cuba, and they have ties still to Haiti, and they are forcing the sugar cane growers of Florida has power over what's going on in the Dominican Republic, and they are capturing people. The system, I should say, the system is capturing Haitians and forcing them to go to the Dominican Republic and to harvest sugarcane. And once they're there on that island, and they're forced to work under gun. So we're not supposed to say that word. The GUN. They're using weapons, and they're ready to shoot at them on the plantation field, to shoot them if they don't chop down the sugarcane. And they're having children. And any descendants, anyone that's born there, like let's say someone from Haiti, and they give birth, they have a baby, there are no passports. It's another form of slavery. They cannot leave the country because they don't have the papers. They had the baby there. They're forced to stay there. They cannot leave. It's modern day slavery. And the slave production people in Florida is involved in the activity what's happening in the Dominican Republic. They are still trying to punish Haitian people today. Did you know that France demanded for the Haitians to pay the French nation, uh, money? The Haitians, I kid you not, people, the Haitians have to give reparations, hear that word, the R word, reparations to France because they stopped the slave trade on that island. So the Haitian, the former enslaved, and its descendants have to still pay France money. I mean, millions of dollars. People, it's a lot of money. And I'm thinking that the earthquakes that are occurring there, when it happened about 12 years ago, in 2010, there was a massive earthquake, and thousands of people died. Thousands. Thousands of people in one swoop. The capital. How is that it's only concentrated, the earthquake, only at one small portion on the island and not the other half? So here with Dr. Stephen Greer um, news conference regarding disclosure of the UFOs and the like, and one of the witnesses witnessed this facility It's a direct weapon, they called it, a direct weaponry, direct energy weapon. Is used to cause earthquakes, tsunamis, earthquakes and tsunamis. People, do you think what I think? Are you thinking what I'm thinking right now? That what's happening, what is happening, is that they might be aiming those weapons at Haiti. You know, there's so many disturbances that happen in that country. But the Dominican half is under submission over its former oppressor. You notice that? And they're very pro-European, the Dominican. They're so brainwashed to identify with their oppressors that they'll do anything to be considered a white person to help improve their social status. It's a poor country also, but it has some enterprise there. But it's upholding the former oppressors' mentality to control the people there. But the Haitian have their presence is still being punished by the system. So a lot of things, so why I'm sharing this is that a lot of things that are being experienced around the world are what is due to what's happening behind the scenes. That's why I'm mentioning it. And so dreams that I have or the vision that I explained earlier in this live stream, being in some type of facility, the ceiling seems like it's domed and then it opens up and it's these like it seems like it's underwater how they move like they're float like they're that type of buoyancy of what water would give, but you don't physically see water, but it seems like it's filled with water and people and things are moving about like it's in the liquid, and I'm seeing this and I'm not supposed to be seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, people, I meditate in the morning upon awakening from sleep, and I get to see things. I get visions. Yeah, it's very simple to do. Upon awakening from your sleep in the morning or dreaming in the morning, when you're awake, keep your eyes closed. Or if you want to just briefly open it, just for a second, let you know that you're awake, just keep it closed and stare straight into your closed eyelids. And boom, you're going to experience something. You're going to see something, and it could be anything. You just go with it. Just relax your body. Just relax your mind, and whatever what comes up, and just go with it. And I've been doing this exercise since 20, heavily since 2017. That's when I really started seeing a lot of stuff. But I started meditating for the first time in 2014. I think it was April 2014 I started meditating. I believe that's when it was. And now I see, like initially I saw like in stages, like um, I would see these geometric shapes, the bright colors, like strips of, like a color wave, like you, as if it's like you could see, if you could see what the air looks like and the movement of the current, that's what I think it was, like energy. And the colors were red and green, long strips, these very narrow rectangular shapes in a long chain, and the colors were half red and half white. Each little rectangular square with a black dot tiny dot in the center. That was one of the first thing I saw, and then I did see the face of someone, a man, and the man seemed like someone from the past. The like, for my impression again. It was just my impression that the man, he was a Caucasian, dark hair, dark eye, very lean face. He just reminded me of someone from the 1800s, latter 1800s, mid to latter 1800s. I don't remember what he was wearing. He was just with like the shoulders up, I saw. Had his hair out. He had full hair. Handsome. Had a handsome face. Don't know who he was. Yeah, that was the first person being I saw. And I would do this all, that was like during a regular meditation, you're sitting at your table, you're sitting Indian style, your cross leg, and you have your incense and candles going on. I went all out on it to try to get in the mood, the feel of it. And then I decided to do the meditation in bed when I wake up, because I didn't want to get up out of my bed. I was being lazy. Yes, I was. I don't like cold floor. I don't like sitting on cold floor in the morning. I say, let me try it in bed. Meditation is meditation, my thought was. And it worked. And I started to see people, places, animals. And the visions are very, very brief. Very, very brief. These things are real, people. Uh, you have access. You don't have to even do any. You don't need to light a candle. You don't need to light incense. Uh, you don't have to do a damn thing. But keep your eyes closed. Keep focus, and you're going to start seeing things that you wouldn't believe. And now I'm seeing things. Sometimes see I mean, my consciousness is, I feel like I believe that my consciousness is at a location and that it could be seen. And I've mentioned before several times that I had this vision this year, my meditation vision that I had, that I appeared at a location in someone's home. It was an African man. That's what he looked like to me. A dark-skinned black African man who was seated somewhere in a dark room. I did not see what he was looking at, but like there was a light source reflecting off of his skin. So I speculated he must be watching TV or computer, and he's very entertained. And then he looks up and he sees me. What he sees of me, I have no idea. I don't know what I look like to him. But guess what happened, people? I mean, I couldn't make this up. Oh. He grabs a spear and starts jabbing in my direction feverishly. I kid you not, people. I kid you not. So I'm like, what? I'm saying to myself, I mean, because everything seems like I'm looking at a television. You'll watch television or watch what's on your computer screen. That's what it looks like it's viewing it through a screen, a television or something. So you're not going to be scared of your TV. But I opened my eyes because I said, oh, I'm not here to invade anybody's privacy. That is not what I'm all about. And it's not like I purposely brought my consciousness. I don't know who the person is. I don't know where this location is. I just know I see something, and it must have seen me. So I opened my eyes to disconnect, I said, well, this is too personal. Let me open my eyes and then I wait a couple seconds thinking that, okay, that's over with. I closed it back and he was still doing it. But he's standing up now. He's in a frenzy. I said, oh, shoo. I was embarrassed. I was very embarrassed because someone's privacy was invaded, and I'm not about that. And I gave a prayer. I said, my apologies to the universe. If so, I'm not here to invade people's privacy, you know. Um, yeah, I'm seeing things. Saw a facility. I saw a robotic arm with a camera. That one looked 3D. That one, I looked like I was actually there. It was that clear. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. And I want to share something else. Yeah, what I was about to say, I got a little distracted there in my relaying the account. This person that I know was telling me that all this, people are experiencing things. And this person shared with me their experience, and that they were having they were having a procedure done, and this is really weird, an MRI done, and it was a long procedure MRI, and the person saw a vision also, and they saw a vision through a perspective of someone lying on the ground. They were out in the field with this grass, and they saw men. I think they're all men. Men. They said people. People running away. People running past the person who's seeing what they're seeing. And the person thought at first that they were what they call Indians. I guess like American Indians or something. And then upon looking closely, he said, "No, those aren't Indians. They're, the, 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 the person said that they were Vikings. They saw people dressed like Vikings running past them. Isn't that something? I've never heard of anything like this. Someone going through a procedure, an MRI. I've had MRIs and CAT scans. Those things scare me. Personally, they scare me. But they were relaxed enough to see this thing. Have you, listener, have you been meditating or seeing things, having bizarre dreams of places that you've never been to, doing things you wouldn't normally do in a dream, or going through a ceremony like I was going through some type of about to go through some ceremony, and they wanted me to eat something, and I was self-conscious because I didn't have any clothes on on below. Very odd. I think whatever was happening, that I think this person might be right, that that more and more people are experiencing things, but they might be afraid to speak out, and that's why I do these videos, because the more we discuss these things, it might encourage other people to share their stories. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone, and I know that I am no special than anyone. I think many, many people are experiencing what I'm experiencing. And who's in charge of what we see? Why are we seeing what we're seeing? Why did that person see Vikings? What, there's a thing called past lives, have a, reincarnation and past lives. And what I'm thinking that, just like you have Hollywood in charge of making movies and they make it look real. And remember the movie The Matrix, how these people are consciousness or bodies are actually being housed, cocooned somewhere else. And there's a computer, each of those tied to a computer. And everything they see is computer generated. And so even in the dream world, because like any computer, because our body is a computer. It's a biological computer. Just like you have a real, computer, desktop computer, it has to rest. You can't have that thing on for 24/7. It has to go through a dormancy. It has to cool down. It has to, what do you call it? We call it software upgrade or something, update, right? So when we sleep, we're getting maybe an upgrade, or changing or modifying things, maybe retrieving data. And so when I was having my vision, because see, this is a very special method of doing it, and that's why I'm encouraging you to do it the same, because I believe that I'm tapping on to something that, see, you have what you call the dream world, and then you have your so-called wake world. Well, what if you can bridge the gap between your dream and your life, your regular life, what you think your regular life, and you can prolong your consciousness in that in between realm and see where you really are, and to see where you really are. And when you like slide out of the dream world slowly, and so it's like it's tricking the system, and it's keeping the door open, so to speak. You're keeping the door open, so to speak. And so you might be tapping into a location, a facility. And it's a facility, um, and it's these little things. I don't know what else to call it, but it looks like a seaweed. It covers your whole vision. You can't, hardly see a lot of stuff. And today I saw what looked like these beings, something with many, many legs. They look like insects. The simple word insects, with many, many limbs. And then my consciousness, where I'm seeing from, is being attacked. I feel like these little things trying to grab at me, scratch me, whatever, in a frenzy. Yeah, the ceiling opened up like a light, like a light source, hits the ceiling, and then it opens the ceiling in a round circle, like a portal or something. Something's opening. This happened more than once. On more than one occasion, I had this type of vision. I saw this. Again, I do not do drugs. I do not drink alcohol. I do not smoke any, I don't smoke, period. You too can do this and tap into what's really going on in your world. And you notice now, I live in New York City, that a lot of people are doing substances. They all over Manhattan. You have those places that do those smoky, and a lot of black people, a lot of black men are doing it. A lot of them. Why are they doing that? What is the real reason to have these shops? Do you think these people can function? You don't see, you don't see any, basic who you see doing it and going to these shops are black people, black men. Once in a while you see the little tourists buzzing around, but who do you see smoking that stuff? Black men. They want to dumb you down. That's what I mentioned. They want to dumb you down. They don't want you to go into awakeness. They don't want you to be awake. Those things are, in my opinion, again, never done it before, never touched the stuff, but my opinion, my what I pick up is that these things are treated with some type of chemical, and it's highly addictive. And it doesn't seem like they're thinking any clearly, you know. And I believe it's to dumb you down, so it's to put you in a stupor. You don't see other ethnic groups doing it. You don't see people from China, people from India doing it. No. No, 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 you don't see that. You very rarely see even white people doing it. But you do have a growing number, like you are seeing more evidence of homelessness among white people. Once in a while you see it. Once in a while you see a white man, young white man, out of his mind. When white people fall, they fall hard in New York. They look really bad. You think some of the black people look bad on the street? These white people look 1,000 times worse. I'm not trying to be insulted. That is not my. That's not what I'm trying to. I'm not trying to make fun of people. I'm not trying to make fun of any race. I'm just sharing what I see happening before my eyes. Yeah, there is a dumbing down in New York City. It is in my opinion, a takeover. And some black people, yes, I'm a black person, a so-called black person, but I see that, see, some people might say, well, good for those white people. Well, people, what happens to them is happening to you, and both the system wants to destroy both of us. Both of us. That's why I'm not going to laugh at anybody else, because we are all under fire. We're under fire. Both of us are in the foxhole. Both of us. And so the black man experience in New York City is really, really compromised. And following slowly, and these white people look like Anglo-Saxon types. Oh, yeah. These people look like they're from mainland America, white America, Anglo-Saxon, Anglo-Saxon, Germanic races. Yeah. And when you see that, they are really spooky and really violent in their speech. I see a city being taken over. And now you see more and more recordings. You just go on YouTube. I mean, I wasn't even looking for it. But all of a sudden, YouTube is referring me videos on the UFO phenomenon now. That people, was about a week or so ago, someone allegedly in, was that Florida, was it? I think it was Florida, no, Florida or California or Mexico, not Mexico, New Mexico, Texas. I forget, what state was it Texas? I think, oh yeah, I think it was Texas. It could have been Texas. That they saw something falling from the sky, and then someone allegedly that something landed in their backyard. Why? Why now the media is playing with the idea? Why? They're setting you up for the UFO alien invasion, but they want you distracted. They're bringing in what they call migrant workers or immigrants who do not have their papers to come in. They're putting them in major cities. They're setting us up for something. The people south of the border are being utilized for some type of trickery that's going to happen. Now, I'm sure a lot of these people are decent people. They just, want a place to live, food, opportunities for their little babies. But they're being utilized as a distraction, and I think to later utilize their force strategically and putting them all in major, major cities like New York City, other places in the country. They're planning something. The system is planning something. The current administration is anti American, they're anti life. Notice who they have in positions of power. People who do not believe in the family in the traditional sense, but they want to have their lifestyle promoted. But they don't want yours. They don't want the traditional family. They don't want father, mother, baby. They don't want that. So, and they seem to be encouraging those people who like to partake in certain alphabet soups of consumption. That is their goal. That's who they place in power. Notice there's the speaker, what do you call this? The speaker, oh, what do you call him? When it's a press conference, they get that lady. She is an alphabet soup person. These other people, they were all seen to be of the same soup flavor. Again, what soup you like to eat is your business. Your soup consumption is your alone's business. But the trend is to utilize certain people, certain activities, because they want to facilitate a new dispensation of activity, of control over the country. And it's to displace modern America. Yeah, they don't want America. It is the browning of America. It is the browning of America. Uh, it used to be just what we call salt, pepper, and a little cayenne pepper. Now they just want to, uh, what was that? What flavor? Well, you could create a flavor. You know, they're creating new flavors, new seasonings, but they want to replace the salt and pepper. I'm just being real. They don't want any more salt and pepper in America. They want to change the flavor as we know it, change it completely. And I feel it. I see it before my eyes. All of a sudden, everything is changing rapidly. I'm outnumbered here. When I go visit family, sorry, my batteries are getting low. Yeah, when I go to visit family, and when I come home, it's all these new families. Where do they come from? People are being bussed in. See, it's going to happen in stages. This current administration, they're working fast. They're working as fast as possible before his term is up. They're working feverishly to overthrow and to put their people in their place marks to later be triggered or activated. You heard me. They're setting up in the major cities because what I believe, in my opinion, that they're going to later be triggered to do something. Triggered. This is a coup. This is a modern day coup, and I don't like it. I don't like the history of America, the horrible things that happen. But that is the past. You have to live in the present. What is happening now? What is happening now? Who is, who, who do they want in control? Why do they want these people in control? They don't want you to reproduce. They want to put you in the gray zone. They want you in a nebulous, vague. They want you to see in shades of gray. They want everything to be gray. They don't want man, woman. They want androgynous. Just be one big gray. And it's symbolic. Black and white people, salt and pepper. They want to remove it. And they want everybody gray. Everybody neutral. Everybody in a stupor. And I have to say this really quick. They have this thing, for the phone, the Obama phone. And there was a movie that came out not too long ago. I don't know the name of the movie, but it took place at an airport, and everybody was on their smartphone. And then all of a sudden, a trigger went off, an impulse went off, and the people who had their cell phones to their head got activated, and they started to do crazy things. Why all of a sudden they want poor people, everybody, to have a smartphone? And the government is even paying for this. So now it's no excuse if you're a poor person, because some poor people, they can't afford these phones. They're giving away smartphones and cell phone service to the very poor because they want everybody to be connected. Why do they want us to be connected? Well, look at that movie. I wish I knew the name of that movie, but people are being triggered. And that movie, Hollywood movie, is letting you know what they have installed for us, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. So they're bringing in people from across the border, all over the world. Anybody can come across the south border, not just so-called Hispanics. You could be from China. You could be from India. You could be from Africa. You could be from anywhere. It is to destabilize and place these people in strategic areas. These people are coming in with clean clothes and backpacks. They have not been walking thousands of miles. They're being bused. They're being sponsored by rich people to topple over America, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not about being anti-immigration. I'm not about that. Never was about that. But now people are being weaponized to do an act. And people are being, people know that I'm American. They hear my accent, and all of a sudden, these microaggressions that occur. There are microaggressions that have been occurring in my life for the past 25 years. And I didn't understand it when it first started 25 years ago. But now I understand now what's happening. Now, when you go into certain areas and all of a sudden they don't treat you, and I try to go out my way to be very friendly. I love meeting people from all over the world. I've always been this way. But all of a sudden, people know why they're there. They know what's going on in the country, at least subconsciously they might know, and they know they don't want you. They don't want people like myself. They want a new identity, new sense of what's family. They don't want you to have a family. They want you to just be nebulous, just to be. It's happening quickly. They're shaping the way you think. People, yes, people, a person that is sharing that, hey, they had a vision also. How is that we're able to see these weird visions, these things? Is this the matrix? And they want you more in a stupor. And so it's leaking. It's like a bleed through of the different worlds because maybe they're about to switch the machine, the matrix machine. Maybe they have to reboot the machine, and so we get to see more, when they like they're shifting. And so in that process of shifting or the change of the guards, we may see things because maybe they're getting sloppy at their work, sloppy and able to get a sneak peek. Start thinking what's going on. Be observant of what's going on around you. Be aware about the foods that you eat. Start eating real food. Start cooking your own food. Start cooking your own food. They're giving you artificial food to get artificial thinking. They want to control the way you think. Yeah, so I'm not going to stay long because my power's about to go off here. I see it's 82 minutes already. Thank you again for listening. Share your comments below, and if those of you are too shy to really share in the comment section, you can email me. You can click on my About page, and I have my email address, and I can also give you my address now. Is oh God, I forgot my email. What is that again? Oh, yeah. Spirit of Azalea at gmail.com. Spirit, like you have a spirit, it's singular. Spirit of Azalea is spelled A as an apple, Z as in zebra, A as an apple, L, E as in Edward, A as an apple, at gmail.com. You can send me an email and tell me your story, what you've been seeing, and maybe I can interview you live on my channel for you to share your experiences, what's happening in your life. Okay? Thank you again. Peace, love, and joy to you, and have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Bye bye.